तेजस्विनी के इस पेज पर, इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर स्वागत है. And Tejaswini, as you all know, is into consulting for energy solutions, energy practices from all over the world, simple methods for improving your health, your relationships, prosperity, in general, wellness, and your life. And most of the services are available online. So we have both in-person sessions and online sessions, and we can always be contacted through the page. There are two pages. One is called Tejaswini and the other is called Tejaswini's Tarot. So now बात करते हैं. आज है बुद्ध पूर्णिमा, बुद्ध जयंती. भगवान बुद्ध जो बहुत बड़े मास्टर, कहते हैं कि ये विष्णु के अवतार थे, बहुत लोग मानते हैं. और ये 6th century BC and between 4th century BC he taught in India, Central India, Eastern India. Then his teachings spread to the south and all over in the east. बहुत ही simple teachings of this master. Unfortunately, most of us are not aware of his methods, which are absolutely simple. His path is a path of quick deliverance. बहुत simple है. It is based on his 4 noble truths. Starts with the basic premise कि everyone, there is suffering everywhere, and number 2, the cause of this suffering is desire, it is fear, it is attachment. Number 3, you can remove this suffering. And number 4, it can be done through various remedies and by taking shelter in Buddha, Dharma and the Sangha. So beautiful, beautiful practices which are there, which are being practiced all over the world, and which definitely need much more attention to make our lives easier, simpler and better. तो आज है ये पूर्णिमा, ज्येष्ठ पूर्णिमा, which today, the day it's called thrice blessed day, because today we celebrate the 3 blessings. One was the birth of Buddha, second was his enlightenment at a very young age, and third was his passing over. So a thrice blessed day. And with the full moon, this moon, I would say, I would be talking more of the energies for this week, maybe tomorrow, with my tarot guidance, because the energies are quite challenging. It's the truth moon, I would say, and it's actually challenging us to speak our truth. It's working on our voices, challenging us to enhance our inner lights. It's very, very challenging. And I would say the energy of fearlessness. I would be coming more on this energy guidance next week, but then today's subject is directly related to this and to the teaching of Buddha for fearlessness, how to overcome fear, what were the remedies that he gave. He himself suffered from a lot of fears. So what is that the gift that he gives to us? It's all mentioned in his sutra, which is called the Abhay Sutra. Abhay means fearlessness, and Buddha sits in his Abhay Mudra and he blesses us completely. And the Abhay Sutra starts with a very learned Brahmin. He asks Buddha, that's given that there is death, who is the person who, subject to this death, is not afraid or is not in terror of death? He asked this question to Buddha, and Buddha's reply, you hear the reply, it's absolutely clear. He said the person who has abandoned passion, who has abandoned desire, fondness, thirst, fever, and craving for sensuality. This is what he says. So he names these things: passion, desire, fondness, thirst, fever, and craving for sensuality. He says this is the person who is this is fearlessness. And he also describes the qualities of this fearless person. He says a fearless person is one who has done what is good, what is skillful, one who has given protection to those in fear. This is very important. How many of us would give, we can be good and we can be skillful, but how many of us would be able to give protection to those who are in fear? And lastly, he is one who is himself, while he is able to give protection to others, he himself has not done what is cruel or evil or something like that. So this is what his the entire the synopsis of this Abhay Sutra is in these words of Buddha. And specific remedies then he goes around to give. It's the first remedy, which is the basic, once again, the basic practice of Buddhism, is found in his Anapana Sutra. So it is, he gave this basic practice. Gautam Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he gave this basic practice of Anapanasati, which is being with the breath. The whole practice, the simplest practice, meditative practice on earth, which is called the practice of this breath awareness, observation of the breath. This is his biggest gift to the world, the simplest method through which he himself attained enlightenment. And Ana means in breath, Pana means out breath, and Sati means being with the breath. So it's about being in the moment, not in the past, not in the future, but being with your breath. And that, he says, is the basic practice for relieving any fear, suffering, pain, etc. Just being with your breath. So being with the breath, we come to another very important method, which is there prescribed as a remedy for removing fear, and which is called, it's very popular today, it's called mindfulness. Mindfulness is, again, being aware, observing from outside. And when it comes to fear, observing your fears absolutely closely, whatever the fear is. There's mention of a technique called the storm meditation. If you're afraid of a storm, then instead of running away from a storm, you sit and you listen to everything, experience everything what is happening. Listen, feel, hear, experience. Focus deep attention on everything, on all the elements of that fear. Sometimes by observing this fear, it may lead you to further entanglements, further threads. And then the guidance says that observe even those entanglements, observe those threads, observe everything, and with practice, the fears themselves will all drop off. So very useful technique, and it is practiced world over, not only for fears but for everything else. Number 3, it's called metta bhavana. Very beautiful word, and it's about loving kindness. Now it will be surprising how you can use loving kindness for tackling fear. So Buddha says that fearlessness comes from benevolence and goodwill, even when there is oppression, in the face of oppression. Here he says, it's important to listen to his words, you are afraid, but instead of fighting what faces you, if you embrace it and accept it, that object of fear will drop off, and you develop a loving kindness as a direct antidote to fear. तो हमने बात करी बीइंग विद द ब्रेथ, आनापानासति, हमने बात करी माइंडफुलनेस की, डिटैच्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन, जो कि एक बहुत ही पॉपुलर बुद्धिस्ट टेक्निक है, मेट्टा भावना की, एंड फाइनली वी कम टू व्हाट बुद्धा सेज, connect to your Buddha nature, which is your true nature and which is there in all spiritual philosophies. Oneness, awareness of oneness with everything. If you can develop that attitude, then there will be no fear. And how do we do that? In Buddhism, there are beautiful techniques of deities, meditating on deities. And if you identify with an enlightened deity, then all the fears drop off. And one very important, the most important I would say, or most interesting deity in the Buddha tradition is Ma Tara, Goddess Tara. And Goddess Tara is, she's like our Mother Kali or our Mother Durga, and she is seen as a protector, as a rescuer energy. This is how she is. And this is a picture of white Tara. And she sits on a lotus, and she's got two physical eyes, she's got a third eye, she's got eyes in her hands, palms, and on her feet. So with these eyes, she looks compassionately at all the sentient beings, and she sees who needs protection. So these eyes are very important. And she's also giving, with one hand she's blessing the world, and with another she is reaching out to these people who need protection. So she's seen as a rescuer energy. And a very simple mantra which is used for Mother Tara, and which says, which itself, the mantra itself is, so there's an entire Tara practice which can be followed. But the mantra, the basic mantra is very interesting, and it can be used, they say, even in the most nerve-wracking situation, it will calm your mind. It's that good. So it's called Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. And apart from giving you this fearlessness, it's a very, very compassionate mantra. It will bring tears to your eyes once you connect to it, because Tara is the embodiment of the passion, and each word of this mantra is very beautiful. When you say Tare, you invoke this the protective and this rescuer energy of Tara, liberation from danger and suffering. The moment you say Tare, when you say Tu Tare, you ask for deliverance into the right path, free from danger and free from suffering. And then the next syllable, the next word is Ture. When you say Ture, you ask for quick deliverance. Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. When you say Soha, you say Tara is within me, Tara is in my heart. And Tara is in my heart. And where is my fear? Fear is in the mind. And where is this mantra? Mantra is in my speech, on my tongue. So the word Om Tare Tu Re Soha, Om brings about this union of the body, mind and the speech. And all fear is gone. So, Om Tare Tu Re Soha, माँ तारा का ये मंत्र भय के लिए, भय हटाने के लिए, फियर के लिए, जो आप इसका प्रयोग कर सकते हैं. और बहुत सी सुंदर बुद्धिस्ट ट्रेडिशन में प्रैक्टिसेस हैं. कंपैशन प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, तारा प्रैक्टिस है, मेट्टा प्रैक्टिस है. बहुत से मंत्रस हैं, बहुत सी सुंदर एनर्जी सॉल्यूशंस हैं, बहुत ही सिंपल है. That's the beauty of it. So this much for today. If you need to know more about practices in this tradition and as for other energy solutions, you can go through the services section of my page. There is a whole list of services and they have been provided with, I mean, it's a long list with exhaustive details, and maybe I need to trim the list, but it's exhaustive because I want everyone to know exactly what exactly is the offering and the benefit of it all. So you can contact me through the page and we shall be glad to help you. So I shall be back maybe tomorrow with the energy guidance for the week, and all of this is related. Whatever we have said today, the entire energy of Buddha Purnima, full moon, truth moon, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. So goodbye for the moment. Bye-bye.